welcome back. Now, this episode was going to be something else. It was actually going to be installing this heater into the S10. Now, this is the exact same heater I'm using in the C10 right there. It works great, puts out plenty of heat. I believe it's rated 28,000 BTU at 260 CFM. It is actually a great unit, works great. There's one small issue I'm having with the S10 on this, and that is space. I went to go shove it up under there, and it's just too limited space I feel for it. So I found a different one to use, so that will come later. But now, before I actually get started on this video, I'd like to send a shout out to Grant at Straight 6 Fan. I'll put his information up here. And just want to give him a shout out because he does a live stream where several of those YouTubers have been helping each other out. So check him out. Now, what I'm going to be doing today is, well, you see the center console's here. I got my shifter. Now, keeping this budget friendly, this is actually a shifter that came in the truck. Now, unfortunately, at one time, I wasn't able to move it at all because it was almost well rusted shut for whatever reason. So I worked on it a little bit, freed it up, took out the screw back here that kept it from going all the way down, so it should travel through all 4 gears as a 4L60 now. I had to get some E-clips, which I had to put on later, that are missing, and the jam nut was missing, so luckily I went down to a local nut and bolt shop, and luckily they had one that fit it. So keep it budget friendly. There it is. I'm using what I have that came with it, and it looks like it's going to work. I actually have the cable for it as well. So now it's obvious that before I talked about making a trim ring, so that's what I'm going to do this time. Now I'm going to actually make it out of a stainless, and I'm probably going to give it a brushed look. I was going to do with a polished, but I really didn't feel like doing that this time. I usually do a lot of polished, mirror finished, and this time I want to do a brush finish because with the polish, it looks great. It doesn't last forever. Once you start cleaning on it, it starts to dull out and there's just no point in it. So I'm going to go back with a brushed. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this area right here with the trim ring so you don't see down in there while you're shifting. Now the simple way to do that is first I'm going to take a piece of cardboard and make a template to fit that. With the cardboard template, I can go ahead and trace out and make the trim ring for the shifter. And while I'm at it, what I'm going to do, if you can see the shifter handle here, it's worn out. It's not the prettiest anymore. I have an idea of what I want to do to it. Kind of make it pop. So do that. Once I get all that done, I'll go ahead and put the E-clips on it. And then I'll go ahead and grease everything just to make sure everything's working properly because, well, after WD-40 in it and clean off with some brake cleaner, there's not a whole lot of grease left, but it does move, so it just needs some more grease and it should be good. So let's get to the trim ring. Now it is traced out, and yes, my lines are a little wonky, but now I'm going to use either a cutoff wheel, bandsaw, or the notcher, whichever one I feel like right now. Whichever one's going to be easier. I'm just going to cut the outside out real quick. Now when I cut on the line, it will be a little bit bigger than the template, which is fine. I'll just shave it down and trim it as needed. Alright, here it is. Now, forgive the center console because JB Weld plastic weld did not hold very well. But here it is, the final product of the trim ring. See, I got my holes drilled out, so I can actually attach this to the plate underneath, hold it all together. Now, it does look a lot better with this trim piece in here. Of course, ignore the carpet, it's still got to be cleaned out, but there's a couple smudges on there for fingerprints. There it is. Now the shifter handle, what I did is I brushed the handle where your hand usually rests, because if I was to polish it, it'd just wear off anyway. But the B&M here, if you can see, and buffed it out a little bit more, so it's got a little shine to it. What I really did was shined up just the ends, so hopefully that'll last a while. Alright, now there it is. Now this is really keeping within budget because the shifter actually came with this truck. Now it was locked up, rusted up. I was able to manage to, with some WD-40 and a little bit of force, get it working again, grease it up. E-clips are cheap. I think in assortment's like $8 or $9. If you already got them laying around, it's not a big deal. Jam nut was nothing. And the trim was really nothing compared to buying a new trim, which probably wouldn't even fit that center console anyway, so I got one out of that. Fits the center console, looks good, the handle looks better, it works. Now the only thing left to do is actually crawl up under the truck and attach it to the transmission, which is no big deal. So, but seeing with the budget, doing a little work like that helps out on a budget build a lot. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks for watching.